There's a lot of companies out there these days selling medicinal mushrooms. So how are you going to know that you're getting the best ones? There's a couple questions to ask. So first, you want to make sure that they're being grown on wood. In the case of almost all of these mushrooms, they've evolved in nature to grow on trees. Some on living trees, some on fallen trees, but on trees. A lot of companies these days are growing them on grain because it's easy, it's cheap to do, and you can make more money doing it, which is obviously a strong motivating factor for a lot of people in the world. But the thing is that if I took you from your natural ancestral diet and put you on a diet of only grain, you probably wouldn't be the fullest version of yourself either. So what happens here is that, of course, these mushrooms, when they grow in nature, they're producing a wide variety of different compounds. There's a specific category of compounds called terpenes that they produce when grown on wood that they don't produce when they grow on grain. And this is one of the main categories of adaptogenic compounds in those mushrooms that especially help your body deal with all sorts of external stressors. So a mushroom grown on grain is a fraction as powerful generally as a mushroom that's been grown on wood. And of course, it's even better if they're grown in a wild-crafted environment where they're exposed to the elements as much as possible and basically grown in a way that comes as close as you can to mimicking how they would have grown in nature, so that they can produce all the compounds that they would grow in nature. Like a lot of the compounds produced in these mushrooms are produced in reaction to the stresses that they experience in their own lives. And then you want to make sure that they're being properly extracted, either into hot water or into alcohol. In the cases of some mushrooms, you'll want both of those together. And then what we do with our reishi mushroom, for example, is it's a dual extraction, hot water extraction and alcohol extraction. And we then also take the spores of the reishi and double cell wall crack those. They have a cell wall that needs to be cracked twice because there's 2 layers to it, and then we add those in there as well, so you're getting all of the best that reishi has to offer. Then a good next step is always to read the reviews and see what kinds of experiences other people are having with this supplier of mushrooms. And finally, I would say it's really worthwhile to take a look at who is selling these mushrooms to you. Most companies you won't be able to do that with because they don't put a face to their brand. They don't come out here like I do and actually talk to you. I think it's pretty rare to have the founder and CEO of a company out here making videos like I do, having this two-way conversation with you guys multiple times a week. And of course, I do that and I make all these educational videos because I love helping you guys along your health journey. I love sharing my passion with you. But there's also another reason that I do it. A big part of the reason I do this is because I want to earn your trust. I want to show you that all of the knowledge and the expertise and the passion that I share with you in these videos and all this educational information, all of that also goes into the sourcing of all these mushrooms and adaptogens and other superfoods that we love sharing with you. And so it's not just something that I said, oh, this is a great way to make money, let's, import some mushrooms. No, this is something that for me is a deep passion first, and as a natural next step, I want to share it with as many people as possible. And finally, I would also say, trust your own experience. So when you're using a mushroom yourself, see how it makes you feel over time. Now, this isn't something where you want to come to a judgment on something after just 1, 2, or 3 days. This isn't a Tinder hookup where you're going for a one-night stand with this herb. This is about building a long-term relationship here. These herbs are meant to be consumed in small amounts on a daily basis over a very long period of time. And that's where the real magic lies. Now, when you look at the studies that are done, they're usually done over something like 4 to 12 weeks. And so I would encourage you to at least give these herbs and mushrooms a month or 2 before you arrive to a judgment on how they've changed your life. Now, you may experience, like with reishi, as I did the first time you ever take it, an incredible release of stress and tension in your system. But everybody reacts a little bit differently. So give it some time, and you may want to keep a journal or a spreadsheet to see each day how you feel. Just record a couple metrics, like give it a score of 1 to 10. How stressed are you and how much anxiety are you feeling? And see if there's a trend that evolves over a month or 2 of taking reishi mushroom. I think that'll be fascinating to see, and it's good to write it down because a lot of times we lose perspective over how we felt 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks ago. So I hope this has helped bring some clarity and understanding for you, and that it will help you on your journey to enjoying the most powerful mushrooms that nature has to offer. And before you go, here's a link to a video that I think you'd enjoy watching next, and here's one the YouTube algorithm thinks you'd enjoy. And there's a link to our website to get on the adaptogens. Have a beautiful day and look forward to seeing you all again next time.